Hey guys, welcome to Mrs. G's Sewing Space. I'm glad you're back with me. I know it has been a while since I had put out a last video. The last video was the hoodie with the pockets on the inside pockets. But today I'm going to give you a quick sewing room tour. This particular room is a little different because it's a formal living room, so it's on my main floor, but it has really tall ceilings. So there may be some echoing. I mean, I can hear the echoes when I talk, but I don't know how the camera's going to pick it up. So there may or may not be echoing in the video. I'll probably be doing a lot more voiceovers, considering there's probably going to be echoing. It's going to depend. So my next few videos I'm going to try without voiceovers and do it the way I used to do it, by just talking as I'm going through the process, but we'll see how it goes. And would you prefer me doing voiceovers, or do you like it when I talk through the process and I just kind of like randomly explain things as I go? So I'm going to turn the camera around so you guys can see, and we'll go through my sewing room pretty quick. So here we go. This is me going into my sewing room. So this is what you see. So like I said, I have some pretty high ceilings, and because it's a formal living room, it's open on two sides of the area. So my husband got me these they're like office cubicle dividers, and so I use these to block out my room so that I have a door, which is where my green screen is. I have a door to open and close. So if I close it, there we go. So I come in here, and starting on my right, this is what you see. So there's my divider, and this is where I would shoot most of my videos, because that's where my camera equipment and lights are all set up. And of course I have stuff here in the background on the dividers to make them pretty, because who doesn't need pretty things on their walls? I have my ironing set up there, and I have a couple of projects which I am setting up to do. I don't know if I'm going to film these. It depends on what you guys think. If you guys are interested, I'll film these. This is a pair of sneakers that I'm just going to do a simple painting on. Nothing major. It's not sewing related. It's just something that I wanted to do. And this one is needle felting. So if you saw Mariah Elizabeth's video on her needle felting, or what does she call it? She said felt sketching, I think it was. So I got some supplies for that and the fact that my daughter loves to do it. And I have a little something that I did when I was practicing. So that right there is just a little something that I did as I was practicing. So as we come around, you can see all my containers of fabric. I have 8 containers of fabric right there. I haven't opened any of them at this point, but they're all there ready to be opened. And then I come over here, and here is, oh, let's move all my chairs out of the way. I have 3 chairs in this room. So that's my first banquet table where I film and iron. My second banquet table has my sewing machine, my serger, my embroidery machine. So all this right here is embroidery machine stuff. And then I have the drawers here at the bottom. So the black one has anything related to sewing. So it has like my needles, my feet, my needles and feet, scissors and screwdrivers and stuff, and then just miscellaneous sewing things there. This is embroidery machine stuff. So at the bottom is blanks and some completed projects. So I got some blanks. I wanted to try some hats and some completed projects. Maybe this will be some Christmas gifts this year, maybe. Who knows? Depends on how much I like the people. And I like these a lot, so these will be definitely given out as gifts. And then this is just all the leftover stabilizer, which can be reused. I just need to figure out how. This is some leftover stabilizer, and this is new stabilizer. So tear away and cut away for all that. And then this one has just resin. So that's resin, that's paint. Those are, here the top drawers, completed projects in here. So you guys have seen this one, and you've seen this one, and this one, and that one. This is one I want to do. It's a crayon holder that I made my daughter some years ago. And so, let's see. Happy birthday. So, but she never used it. But I think it's adorable. And let's see, this is my sewing stuff. So I always keep this set of drawers by my sewing machine because it has, so those are needles, those are my sewing feet, these are miscellaneous sewing accoutrements, and then my scissors, needle nose pliers, a wand, because who doesn't need a magic wand when they sew sometimes? Sometimes you just need a little bit of magic. And more sewing stuff. And then more. So those are my, what are these called? I forgot. K-snaps? M-snaps? Snappy snaps? Let's see if I could pull this out without. So all those are the plastic snaps that you get on like baby diapers or diaper covers, stuff like that. So I bought that. And then yarn to fix my socks and things like that. And then down here in the bottom one is all that. Leftover storage, pretty much. And then there, of course, is my garbage can. But that gray bin has my cushions that I'm going to recover eventually. Batting and stuffing. That's pretty much all in there. And then around here, so this is my computer stuff where this is where I do my, not my sewing. I don't do my sewing here. This is where I do my schoolwork because I'm currently in school. So I do my schoolwork, I pay my bills, watch YouTube, you know, all that goes on right here. On the other side is where I do my bookbinding. So my other hobby, other than sewing and crafting in general, is bookbinding. So I really like making little books. And I do that because sometimes you get bored of sewing. Sometimes you can sew so much, you can just kind of run out of creativity for sewing. So I needed something else to still be creative, but not to sew. So I'm in the process of doing a whole bunch of little junk journals here. And then we move in to this side. So this side isn't all that spectacular, but I don't have a closet like I used to have in the old place. So I have this standalone moving rack here. And all this holds are my paper patterns. These are all my self-drafted paper patterns here. And then I have a bag of tie-dye stuff, which I'm going to do with my kids. And if you guys are interested in that, let me know too, and I'll film that one. And some spare shoes, because I don't want to run upstairs to my closet all the time. I mean, who wants to do that? Let's see, hold on there. Get those out of the way. So, and then we'll move this out of the way. And you can see. So that's the downside of this particular room. This particular room, I need to rearrange some things. But thankfully, they have wheels. So here is the built-in for this room, which I really like. So I've got plenty of shelf space. So I've got all that sewing stuff, that's pattern stuff. Those are my junk journals that I've made. Just stuff. I have a lot of stuff. No kidding, I mean a lot of stuff. So over here I have, those are magnets that I've made. That's a junk journal that I made. These are books that I've made. The only books I haven't made are, let's see, those. So those 4 books I have not made, but everything else in there I've made. In particular, I really like this one. This is one of my favorites. So it's just a little book. It has blank pages on the inside. And let's see what else. I like that one. That's super cute. And it's hard to film. But let's see, here's one. My daughter actually did the watercolor. She's like, I don't know what to do with it. And I'm like, I know what to do with it. And so I pulled it out and just turned it into a little book. It's blank pages to doodle in or write in or whatever. And let's see. And then my favorite, my little books, using up scraps here. So these are just little blank books here. But this is my absolute favorite. Well, one of them. It is a miniature book. It's about 1.5 inches by 1 inch. It's just blank on the inside, but it's completely bound and glued like a traditional book. And there you go. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this little book, but I think it's adorable, and I really love the paper and the cover. And so there you go. So little bitty books and really big books, or well, let me put that back in. I'll fix all that later. They're my books. This is my pile of stuff to put into my journals, ribbons, sewing machine I picked up at the thrift store. So those are patterns for sewing, hot glue gun, bias tape, stuff like that. That's trim. And then it's seashells out the wazoo. I got another bottle of seashells back behind there. Buttons, just all sorts of stuff. And then of course I have all my books, all my sewing books here, and then stuff that I've made, bills, that's bill storage right there, and then right down here. And all this is, even though this is labeled pencils, stuff that my husband brought me from Singapore. Man, what happened there? Something busted during the move. That stinks. More stuff. Just stuff. Let's take a quick look at all the junk I have in my drawers. Oh, I wanted to make my own belt at one time. Some embroidery stuff. Pencils. Transfer pencils. Ooh, I'm going to use those eventually. Paper for my scrapbooking. So these are tags and ribbons. So you can tell stuff that's been... I've stuffed some things in here just for the move. So I've got some completed projects in here. Those cam snaps would go in here, so these can become keychains. I hand embroidered that, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. And I don't know why I layered it the way I did. I'm sure I had a reason for it, but I don't remember. I got some books in here and some finished embroidery projects. You can do this on an embroidery machine. You just have to have a program for it. So let's put all that back in here so I can figure out what to do with all that later. And then all my tapes and glues. Buttons out the wazoo. More stuff from Singapore and Asia that my husband has purchased for me. So bias tape, some lace. The lace is cute. All that type of stuff in there. And in this drawer, I'm not going to pull this, oh shoot, I'm not going to pull this drawer out all the way because it goes all the way back, but it's all webbing of all sorts of colors. And then this is just all scrapbook paper in here. Scrapbook paper out the wazoo. And then, let me put this one back. And then down here at the bottom, so I just, the two cabinets just have storage in them. It's just boxes of junk that I have. Nothing really personal items, but nothing that I'm going to show off. But then I have down here, I have my elastic interfacing. That's knit interfacing. That's journaling stuff. That's stamp stuff. That's zippers. Oh, I haven't opened it yet. But that's zippers right there. And then paint and my sewing patterns, commercial sewing patterns are in there. And then more junk journaling stuff. And of course, all my interfacing. So this is like the Pellon, the stiff stuff for some of the junk journals and hat brims and things like that. Purse making, that would be awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of my sewing room. It's nothing spectacular. You use what you got. I always told my husband I'll have a space somewhere to keep my stuff out. So I went from a very large sewing room that held 3 banquet tables and had a closet to a small teeny weeny sewing room which only held 2 banquet tables to this new sewing room which holds 3 banquet tables but it has no closet. And every sewing room is slightly different and you got to kind of figure out how you're going to adapt all your junk to go into your room. And so it's interesting how sewing rooms evolve and change and are suited to fit the people who are sewing in them. So I hope you enjoyed the room. As I was saying before in the video, I do have this project. I have a tie-dye project, I have the needle felting project, and I have the painting of my shoes. If you guys are interested in seeing any of that, let me know in the comments below or let me know on the community tab. I'll put a what's it called when you vote for something? A voting something, I don't remember. That's not a contest. Well, anyways, I can't remember what I'm trying to say. So anyways, I'll put it up on the community tab. You guys can decide if you want to see it or not. If not, I'm not going to worry about it because I'm still doing these projects anyways. I just want to know if you want to see them. But I do have some actually sewing projects. My next sewing video is going to be talking about seams, a regular seam, French seam, some of those things, and giving demonstrations of what they are. And then I think I was going to do a video showing you how to use a ruffle foot. So I have one of those and I thought that would be fun. So anyways, love you guys. Throw comments down below, let me know what you think, and always come back and visit us. Let me know if there's something in particular that you want to see. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Ba-da-ba.